here's the thing. For everybody listening, don't make the same mistake the Bengals just did in any facet of your life.
People are going to get hurt. It's the hockey season.
What about the Jared Cook play on the sideline?
I was very tempted to just put defense.
I'm saying it right now. If Anthony Davis is out for the playoffs, they don't make it out of the first round.
Come on, Austin and I have been saying this ever since Joe Burrow got injured.
I don't really think the Dodgers are going to make the World Series this year. I feel like they'll make it to the NLCS.
The Fernando Tatis extension, because that really surprised me.
Like you said, Ovechkin, he's getting older. He hasn't been playing as well as I imagined. He's one of the greatest goal scorers of all time, but he hasn't started off this season as hot as I would hope.
Hi, I'm Jeff Allen, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week. I'm Kevin, and I'm joined by the man that can no longer tolerate it, Austin.
Yeah, you just gave me some concerning information before the video.
It's
but,
not concerning.
Okay. I'll take it as I see it. But a lot of crazy stuff happened this week. You mentioned before we started recording that the Ravens completely dismantled the Seahawks. There's been a lot of weird games. An injury, obviously, to Daniel Jones that'll hurt the Giants even more than what's happened before that. The Raiders finally got a win with Aiden O'Connell. And I want to bring out really quickly, when we did our rookie QB predictions, right, I did have Aiden O'Connell playing a large amount of games. I think I had him playing like 10 games. So that could work out.
Hey, good for you. I'm proud of you. And, yeah, what do you want to add?
I remember now that Josh McDaniels started Brian Hoyer, and they asked him why, and it's because we're trying to make the playoffs or something like that, or we want to be competitive instead of starting Andy O'Connell, and then O'Connell wins a game for them. So I just find that kind of funny.
Yeah, and did you hear what that led to the major falling out between Pierce? Okay, so from what I saw in clips, it was Pierce brought up the Giants, the 2007 Giants that upset the Patriots. And he was just like, hey, players, you all have to believe you're the best team, because I didn't realize Antonio Pierce was a part of that 2007 Giants. So he's like, we believed we were the best team out there, and we did prove it. So he was just getting into the belief of the team, and he was chosen to speak by McDaniels. But after Pierce brought up the Patriots, McDaniels didn't like that, and McDaniels said, don't ever bring up the Patriots again, which kind of goes into the culture of the Patriots, which Seth Wickersham does a great job in his book about the Patriots. I can't remember it. It's a fantastic book. But so that was just something on that stuck out to me, and this led to the players were like, what? And the players had aired their grievance. It's called It's Better to Be Feared. It's about the Patriots and the dynasty. But it was the players aired their grievances against McDaniels, and then when McDaniels got mad at Pierce for speaking up for him by bringing up the Patriots, Mark Davis is like, okay, I need to change something. And it seems like Pierce has brought a new environment, which hopefully he can keep this job.
Yeah.
It's not just a publicity stunt.
True. And I'm really shocked that McDaniels would care. You're on the Raiders now. Why does it matter? He's obviously making a good speech, and you're right. I completely agree with Coach Pierce that you have to believe you're the best, or you will lose. You will lose if you don't think you're better than the other team. Why are you on the field? That's a great speech, and I can't believe that McDaniels would be offended or whatever is about that. That again, let's try to win some games here. You're not on the Patriots anymore. I don't really know how else to explain it.
Yeah, and I think it goes towards more how the Patriots assistants don't really do well, and that's kind of just goes into they've seen what Bill Belichick does and they try to replicate it. Instead, as a coach, you should build your own way of doing it. There is a certain way to do it, but it's also don't be fake. It's being sincere, as we talked about in the NHL video. And while Vrabel has been very successful, he wasn't a coach under Belichick. He was a player.
True. I do think that Belichick's influence, though, was vast on him. So,
Like Belichick is a great coach. He's a great coach because of the way he does it. You can't replicate Belichick. You have to be yourself and focus on
Well,
it.
and it's also, I feel like a lot of people worry too much about what they did in the past and don't realize that they need to change. I feel like that's a problem with a lot of coaches, no matter what system they come out of. And we obviously saw that with the problem McDaniels. You don't have Brady. Let's stop running an offense that only Brady can run. This is not going to work. And everywhere else he went, the offense was bad because he didn't have the GOAT.
And it seems like he didn't really utilize Devontae Adams.
It's not
As-
even that. It's
Yeah,
not even.
okay.
It's just the offense is bad. Like you're not making good decisions. It's play calling. You don't need to get your star receiver the ball every play. But if you're not, you need to be productive about it. Like I think that's what made Adams so mad is that their offense was bad and they weren't going to him. Like if they weren't going to him and the offense was good, I don't think he would care as much because it would show that okay, they're not going to me for a reason. But there's no reason. The reason is you're just bad at play calling. So
Yeah, that's good.
it just is kind of no, you're good. It's kind of all just falling apart.
Yeah, but I'm very intrigued and like, a lot of people are like, oh, they brought up the practice squad. I thought that was a nice story. I didn't, or it seemed more on McDaniel's. Did you hear about the practice squad?
No.
They were on the sidelines, but they weren't on the sidelines before. And Pierce is like, yeah, I wanted them on the sidelines because like they may be called up, and I want them to just be a part of the team. They're a part of the team.
That's good coaching. I like that.
Yeah.
That's
But it
quality
just brings up, why did McDaniels be like, no, I don't want the practice squad? Like, why not? Like, it's 13 more players.
Yeah, it's not. You have enough bench space. I can guarantee it.
Yeah, and other things that stood out to me, Joe, the Bengals and Bills game, I thought after the first few plays, I was like, or after the first few touchdowns, I'm like, okay, this may be closer than I thought. In the score, it is a one-score game, but
It didn't feel close.
It didn't feel, and I think it just goes to show. Maybe this is Zach Taylor. Maybe I owe it to him, or the Bengals have gotten hot, and they're back in playoff contention after having a rough start. Joe Burrow seems to be back and doing Joe Burrow things because he really didn't struggle. He struggled the first few weeks, and that may have been the calf issue.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I think that's what we talked about before, right? Is that the calf issue was the reason why he was struggling?
Yeah, I think you may have brought that up. I'm like, is it really the calf issue because he was still struggling? But it's just like the moving in the pocket, as they brought up during the broadcast, and it just goes to show like what a healthy Joe Burrow can do. And it's just the Bills. I just don't know what to think. Now they're currently out of the playoffs, but like, what do you? I think this is a team that needs a new voice, and new structure because it doesn't seem to be working.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen. I'll bring up the stat that I sent you previously. So he is tied for the league lead in interceptions thrown this season. Since 2022, he has the most with 23. Since 2021, he has the most with 38. Since 2020, he has the most with 48. Since 2019, he has the most with 57. And since 2018, he has the most with 69. That's every... Since he's entered the league... yeah. Since he's entered the league, he has led the league in interceptions for his entire career.
Okay. So the 67 is basically his career interceptions, right?
The 69, yes.
69, yeah. My bad. Dang. Missed that. Okay, got it. So it's the accumulation of interceptions. That's
yeah, but
how
since 2018, no one's thrown more picks than him. Since 2019, no one's thrown more picks than him. Since 2020, 2021, 2022, this season, no one has thrown more picks than him.
Yeah, and that's like he has good wide receivers. I just think it's coaching ability and just getting him.
I think it's mental too.
Yeah, it's mental. I think it's. I know I've said this a ton, but it's. All right, take what the defense gives you. Stop looking for the big play.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's so difficult with the quarterback because we put a lot on them, but that's why the margin is so thin. That's why Kirk Cousins and Dak Prescott are top 10 quarterbacks. But it's such a slim margin for them, which I actually transitions. I, Dak played. Dak has been playing really well, like just lately, but still some mistakes happened, and it's just the Cowboys fell short against the Eagles. I thought it was going to be a total blowout, but it just shows the Eagles are just better. They made the plays when they needed to, like the fourth down conversions. It was just inevitable.
And they were dealing with injuries, plenty of them. So I hear a lot of Cowboys fans complaining about how lucky the Eagles were, but the Eagles had a lot of players go down with injury during that game. Jalen Hurts is not 100%. AJ Brown's not 100%. Dallas Goedert has a broken forearm. So I mean they've lost a lot of players, but I do have to wonder how the Cowboys do they take this positively? Do they see this as a positive loss? Hey, we can play with this team, or will they just be down on their luck because of how it turned out?
It seems like they're taking it positively, and like, yes, there were some bad calls, but that's always going to happen. My thing with the Cowboys is nothing. They're just doing enough to stay relevant. What did the Eagles and Niners do at the trade deadline? Upgraded. Cowboys basically stayed pat.
Martavis
And,
Bryant.
oh yeah, Martavis Bryant was signed. Forgot about that. Yeah. Which Dak has shown something, but still the Cowboys aren't there. They don't have that it, and people are like, "Oh, well, how do you feel about the Cowboys?" I'm like, "Well, whatever." And they're like, "Well, they have a good record." I'm like, "It doesn't matter. The record. It is a good step to be continuing in the playoff contention, but at one point you have to
Do something.
to me you have to do something, and you have to show something in the playoffs. I haven't seen that from the Cowboys.
Yeah,
This team
that's a
is better than past years, just in general. Like they're being more consistent, but they also have some mishaps, which I don't really know what happens.
they've yet to beat a team that is legit.
Yeah, that's true. They've gotten blown out, and they kept. I like if the Niners game was close and they lost. I understand it. Niners are a better team. Eagles, they were close, but mistakes like that. Fine. When they got to the 6 yard line, they just went backwards.
Yeah, they had 3 drives in the fourth quarter within the 10 that were and goal and got 6 points out of it.
Yeah, it was a game of inches, which was a column I read because Schumacher was just inches off, but that's what it is. So to me, I don't really like talking about the Cowboys because, like, hey, it's the same old team. They're not going to do anything different until they show me. That's just the way I view it. But a team that an amazing ending that we were talking about before, the Texans. Man, what a play by Stroud and
He's arrived. That's the only way to put it. 5 touchdowns, 470 or something yards.
Past Andrew Luck in
Yep.
game yardage.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
the most touchdowns thrown by a rookie, I believe, or at least this early in the year. It's the most yards thrown by a rookie. The Bucs offense looked really good, but their defense, it did. And the Texans exploited them every way. Tank Dell, Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz looked amazing in this game. He's played very well recently. Another former Cowboy there playing well. I saw an interesting stat that like a lot of, or I just looked at a lot of
Was it the wide receivers?
It was the wide receivers and tight ends. So it was Dalton Schultz, Amari Cooper.
I believe CD led the list, then Cooper.
Yep.
No, then Noah Brown, then Cooper.
Noah
Schultz.
Brown, that's right. Noah Brown had like 150 yards or something like that.
And I was totally cool with like let Dalton Schultz go. I really like the tight ends they have for the Cowboys, but it was a great decision by the Texans. You know, you and I believe both agreed, hey, I personally like Stroud. However, I personally thought he was going to take more time to develop. Like, okay, what's it going to
be? We knew he had the talent. We just had to see it turn into actual play, and it turned into actual play a lot sooner than either of us really expected.
Yeah, and Bryce Young has struggled more.
A lot more.
Yeah, a lot
more.
He
threw more pick sixes on Sunday than touchdowns. He threw 2 pick sixes, 1 touchdown.
That's surprising to me because he just seemed ready. but I really like the hype of Stroud, and Stroud's just been amazing in the way he can do that. I haven't read all the articles, but some of the articles or like headlines I've read have been just about him talking about the culture and setting the culture, which I think's a really it's a veteran move by a rookie guy, but it's a young room. So I think you have to be really excited where you are with the Texans.
Yeah, 100%. They're 4-4. I don't think they make the playoffs, but that doesn't matter. This year is a success already because of the progression you've seen from not only Stroud but their defense. I know they gave up 37 points, but the defense is making plays. Will Anderson looks good. Derek Stingley looks good. They're like I said, they're making plays. And D'Amico Ryans, I can't tell you how much I've grown to respect him as a coach. The way he coaches his team, it's remarkable. And if that team goes 8-9, I think he should be coach of the year, or at least very close to it, because this team was projected not to win many games at all. Stroud was supposed to be the worst of the top two QBs. Yada yada yada. The O-line's not good. The running back core has still been bad. Damian Pierce has struggled, and same thing with Devin Singletary. But 8-9, 9-8. If they go 9-8, especially 9-8, miss the playoffs, D'Amico Ryans is my coach of the year.
Yeah, and you talk about them being 4-4. Yeah, playoffs aren't the goal, but it's just like, hey, you're in competition. They are second in the division. Like the Colts and Titans are lagging behind, and the Jaguars are really leading. Jaguars, just get that reps, and you have the right coach. So just work it out. And I know they traded their first pick, but just keep winning, and I believe they have another, or you'll get just some more draft picks to an already well built room. And it's just, yeah, I agree. D'Amico Ryans has been amazing. And I'm just looking at this AFC standings, the AFC North. All teams are above 500.
All the teams are in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, all of them will make the playoffs. Yeah, that was something.
If it started today, yeah.
Yeah. The Browns' defense is really good. I don't really judge their offense. I think they're more of a defensive team. Steelers, I think that's just a team led by Mike Tomlin.
TJ Watt as well. TJ Watt's made some huge plays.
Yeah.
It's really
defense.
Yeah, it's defense. It's Myles Garrett with Cleveland. It's TJ Watt with Pittsburgh. It's those leaders you have on defense. And then Kevin Stefanski, I still think is a quality coach. I feel like he's not given enough credit, but he's had to go through a lot of turmoil, a lot of roster turnover, and the teams have been relatively competitive, even with whoever they start at QB.
Yeah, I think he's been a victim of QBs, and I don't really know how to view Deshaun Watson, but yeah, it's their defense. And to me, the Bengals are led by Joe Burrow, but the defense to me is very, I want to say underrated, but they're just a good defense.
They're good, not great. They're good. That's a good way to put it.
Spectacular, but
they'll make plays.
Dangerous.
They can make plays.
Yeah, they're overlooked because of the offense, and I think the Chiefs. To me, the Chiefs probably have the better defense, but the offense for the Bengals is better than the Chiefs. The Chiefs are struggling on offense because they didn't score any second half points.
Yeah, they ended with 21, and like you said, had no second half points. So it's just a tough game for them. I still see like sportsbooks have Mahomes as the leader to win MVP in odds or very close to it. I can't see it. I don't see a world where he wins it.
I really hope they don't go quarterback for MVP because there's no quarterback.
Unless Stroud goes ballistic again.
Yeah, unless Stroud. Like, Stroud's a quarterback.
To be honest, before Kirk's injury, Kirk was my leader because of how well he's played this year. But obviously, he got hurt. And then McCaffrey is up there.
Have we talked about the Kirk injury or no?
I mean, I think we touched on it, but I don't think we went into, like, depth.
Because Kirk was on an excellent season, as you brought. The Vikings are coming back. It would have been, because I guess I'm labeled, am I a Kirk hater?
You're not a Kirk lover, I'll say that.
Yeah, so Kirk non-lovers for me were, I think, being put into a difficult situation because of all the talk about touchdowns, but they're a losing team, then they're winning, and it was a very intriguing story. Kirk was pushing against the narrative and proving it wrong. But yeah, I don't like the idea of narrative, but just putting the idea out there, okay, I can play against good teams. He got a primetime win against the Niners without his number one wide receiver. So to see his season get cut short kind of makes me sad. I do love the dude, but I don't know how I view him as a QB. But it was going to be it was going to put a difficult answer. Like, how am I going to respond to this? And so I'm just sad it got cut short, but the Vikings are still doing well, which the Josh Dobbs story, I feel Josh Dobbs is a good quarterback or he should deserve
I agree.
that.
I think he's a starting caliber QB in the NFL.
Yeah. And how big of a caliber of starter, we don't know, but he's a guy that should definitely get a shot over. But like, I don't know where he fits because I know I've been talking about this. It's a weird year of quarterbacks.
It is very weird, and there's been so many different starters, and I'm glad Dobbs is getting a chance. The Kirk injury really hurts me because not only do I like him, obviously, as a player, as Kevin knows, but he's just a good dude, and I hate
love the
seeing
dude. He's hilarious.
as a person, right? He's one of the best people in the league. Like, if you just watch, what is that show called, Kevin?
The quarterback.
The Quarterback. Watch the show if you don't think Kirk Cousins is a great dude, because he just exudes humbleness, humility. He exudes just being a great person. Him on the bench after tearing his Achilles, clapping for his team. His teammates come back there after the game, and his first question is, "Did we win?" Like, he's the penultimate teammate, and while it sucks that he got hurt, I really do appreciate him. I'm seeing a lot of people online finally start to appreciate Kirk, and I've had some people like ask me what their thoughts or what my thoughts are about Kirk, and I say this stuff, and they're just like, "Oh, you're just seeing it now. He got hurt." No, I'm not. I've been
You've
Kirk.
been on this. Here's well documented.
Yes, it is well documented that I thought Kirk is good for a while now. So this is not new information. This is not just because he got hurt, but
I love the person. I don't know how I view him as a quarterback. Like, I love Dak. I don't know how I view Dak as a quarterback. But do you want to know what my favorite part of Kirk? Especially, I recommend the quarterback if you're like getting to the NFL, because that's my biggest thing about sports is just getting to the people in those stories.
yeah.
Quarterback, it does the football very easily explained. But back to that, do you want to guess what my favorite part of Kirk is?
Favorite part? This could be anything. So
I don't think you're gonna get this, but I love this from Kirk Cousins. It has nothing to do with football. It's like a personal thing. Like, I love the dude. I just don't know how I view him as a quarterback.
you tell me.
It's the Kohl's cash, and it's the Kohl's. He's like, yeah, I just buy my clothes from Kohl's. I'm a huge supporter of like Sam's Club and like other places to get clothes. So
Yeah, I think another one of my favorites is that his wife chooses all his post
that's
game
awesome.
outfits.
Yeah,
That's pretty
that's
funny.
It's
That's
in
pretty
the
funny.
same
He's like,
vein.
well, how do you pick this out? I didn't.
It's great. Oh man,
It's perfect. Right
and
after
then
you
he
guys
has
won, you're
the
wearing the
room.
Viking stuff. What were you saying?
It's the funny. It's he has the room too. He's a great dude. It's just I'm glad he got paid, and I was as a quarterback. That's the thing that bums me out. Like, yes, of course he's a great dude, which is great. But it's how is he going to do this year? Because it was a contract year. Love that idea of that story changing. We'll have to see what happens next year. But yeah, Dobbs too. It just seems like teams are very quick with quarterbacks. Some are others. Some teams are preparing for the next year of quarterbacks. And Will Levis, to me, like, he has been on fire. I know they lost, but really done well, and seems like the passing offense has gotten involved more with him. But we'll just have to see.
Yeah.
So, and then let's look at some games for the upcoming week that we're interested in. Packers Steelers, I think, something that comes to mind.
Yeah, that's a good game. I'm excited for that one as a Packers fan. Again, I fully trust in Jordan Love. I feel like people don't know how to be patient. I feel like a lot of fans are way too worried about how good is this guy right this millisecond. Why isn't he Aaron Rodgers? yada yada yada. And I give him the entire season. I believe in his ability. I think a big game this year, or this week, I should say. Saints Vikings.
Okay.
Both teams are
Yeah.
5-4. Both teams have had tumultuous seasons, but the winner of this game is really looking good for a playoff spot.
That's a great point. All the good games that come to mind to me are all at 12. Because Saints and Vikings, I didn't see that one. Texans, Bengals, you got Niners, Jaguars. Like, I guess Lions versus Chargers, that could be good. But, like, Texans versus Bengals, you got CJ Stroud versus Joe Burrow.
I'm going to say I'm interested in the Monday night game because the Broncos have beaten the Chiefs. They beat the Chiefs.
That's true.
And I think maybe Sean Payton and them are getting it together. 3-5 is bad, but it's not impossible to come back and be a 10-17. Russell Wilson has shown some promise this year, and the Bills are on a spiral. This is a game for the Bills that, like, I know I've been saying should the Bills panic, yada yada yada, but this is official. This is officially, if they lose on Monday night, the sirens are going off.
Okay,
you go. You go.
Why? But I kind of did panic against the Chiefs. The Chiefs losing to the Broncos is different to me than the Bills losing to the Broncos because of what the Bills have done throughout the rest of the year. For me,
yeah.
Like I just can like why shouldn't the Broncos loss to the Chiefs cause alarms? Well, because the Chiefs have done something in the playoffs, and it's one bad game. The Bills have had this would be to a list of bad games from the Bills.
Yeah, it's not particularly looking good, especially if the situation gets a little bit more concerning with the Bills. Like if they start having locker room issues, if they start, they're not even that injured of a team. They're relatively healthy. Like what happens if Kirk Cousins loses Justin Jefferson? What if Stephon goes down? Obviously, knock on wood, I don't want that to happen. But what if they have a major injury?
I think the injuries have been on defensive side, but yeah, offense.
But Von Miller's back. I mean, I know they have Tre'Davious White, but I mean, the Cowboys are surviving without Trayvon. It's not. Yeah, I know. This isn't one big. I mean, that is a big injury. I won't sugarcoat it, but that's not a season-ending injury.
Yeah. Matt Milano.
And season-ending meaning for the team. Obviously, it's a season-ending injury for Tre'Davious White. But I'm talking about like it doesn't.
Yeah, you have to step up. I see what you're saying, but I think the injuries are coming up. But it's my main problem is with Josh Allen. Because if you're going to be in that stratosphere of quarterbacks, you have to deal with a bad defense.
You have to win these games. Like this is
absolutely, yeah.
This is a 3-5 team. You have to win this game. Like you have to win this game. It's not a might or must. I mean, it's not a might. You have to.
Yeah, like to me, Josh Allen is going into the Kirk Cousins territory. Like, okay, what are you? Like, I don't know if he's top 5.
Well, here's the thing. Do we think the Colts are going to beat the Patriots? I would say yes. And if that is the case, and the Bills lose to the Broncos, the Bills are 5-5. The Colts, without their starting QB, are 5-5. Without AR.
Wow, that's insane. I like that comp. That's a good. Wow, that was good. I like that.
A team without their starting QB at the start of the year would be tied with the Bills.
But yeah, all the games at 12 look good or look better than the 3 games. Like Falcons, Cardinals could be good. Kyler Murray could be back, but Kyler Murray's a quarterback I'm interested in. Like, okay, where do I view you? Cowboys versus Giants. Cowboys should dominate that game, but we'll see. Well, no, the Cowboys will dominate that. Actually, I don't know. Because the Cowboys played well against the Eagles, so maybe they fall off. We'll have to see. But Lions Chargers could be good. I just don't know what to view the Chargers.
Yeah, they're a very confusing team. I don't really know how to view them either. I'm not going to blame you. They're confusing, to say the least. Yeah.
Bills and Broncos, though, that is a good. I'm interested in the result. I don't know if I'll watch the game because I don't know if it'll be a fun game to watch.
True.
But yeah, no, it is a big game for the Bills, especially with a loss to the Patriots.
Yep.
Yep. And that's all we got. Let us know what you think. And we appreciate you listening. And that's all we got for Outsiders Opinions.